Very good morning, everyone. This is Rajendran here joining from Market Calls and welcome everyone to day 2 of the live training session. So something interesting which is happening in Nifty and Bank Nifty. Let me tell you what are those things. So yesterday, if you remember, we talked about a very important positional reference, the single print zones. So the single print zones. Now, what we talked about is like this reference is going to act like a kind of a buffer zone. It is going to be acting like a stop loss. I mean, not exactly like a stop loss, like kind of a support zone, not exact support zone. We also discussed about a concept called like whenever the supports are happening in terms of market profile, it will be breaking down and it will be acting like a kind of a support. That is what exactly happened in yesterday's session. This is one thing that we discussed about the importance of the single print zones. So single print zones are always an important reference, right? So one of the plays that we expected, we are not expected a great sell-off yesterday, right? So one of the thing what we anticipated is like some mini support zones can happen around these levels. That is one thing that we anticipated. Even we also talked about a minor pullback towards the center. A lot of single print zones are at a B period and C period. So we also point out that price could be coming back around 24,600 levels. But market went totally sideways. Nothing much really happened. It went with low volume activity. A lot of price rotation happened. And eventually it turns out to be a bell curve shaped profile structure. That is not something new. That is what market does majority of the time, right? So there is no surprise with that. And yesterday, the price, talking about the confidence, right? So one thing that we always watch in the markets on a daily basis is the market confidence. So what uh, levels that we are watching yesterday's market confidence is like we seen the confidence price open with a gap up. So that is a high confidence. Later on, price went down, got back into the range, yesterday's range. Price got back into that. So confidence changes. High confidence changes to low confidence. But then the price was breaking the single print zones, got back in. Sellers are not serious later on. Price got rotated back to the center and more activity happened around the yesterday's reference itself. Now, that is the clean signature that nobody is in control in the markets. Right? So, even though buyers showed confidence, later on buyers lose confidence, sellers showed up, sellers also not serious. So, later on, nobody is serious. When nobody is serious in the markets, typically markets get into kind of an indecision mode, kind of a doji mode or kind of indecision mode. So, that is one thing that says like the market could get into a sideways price action. And right now, something even more interesting is happening. So the single print zone still we are carry forwarding and price is driving up. That is something very important. The yesterday's prominent point of control is not getting cleared. And if I look through the order flow, something dangerous information is happening. I'm seeing one of the lowest volume activity ever. Now, whenever the low volume activity is like 7,340 or lesser, you have to be very careful because these kind of days, we're not going to see an compressed price action. We're going to see an elongated structure. So low volume doesn't mean like something sideways market is going to happen. I'm not expecting a sideways market today. I'm expecting some serious price action, right? And more prices moving away from the prominent point of control, higher the chances that this could be acting like a further important support zones, right? And you can see that price is exactly, there are a couple of visual information that we can track. One of the visual information that we'll be able to see here is like today's high, just one TPO shy of yesterday's high. And not only that, yesterday's low also visual. I'm not sure how many of you guys noticed. So I had marked a reference as well. So yesterday's low was exactly resting at 12th August high. And that says like that is a kind of a crucial information that one more immediate support zone is getting built around yesterday's reference. So yesterday's low is going to be one of the most important positional support zone. So one can trail their stop loss towards yesterday's low also. Yesterday's low or very close to yesterday's low. And this is going to be a very, very important reference here. It's going to be an immediate support zone. And if you could remember, market has been keep on building such kind of immediate support zones. If I compress the charts, I'll be able to see that more and more consecutive immediate support zones is what I'm seeing over here. So this is the first immediate support zone. This is a positional support zone. Followed by that, one more immediate support zone. And followed by that, we are getting another immediate support zone is what we are seeing over here. So let me also share this with our Slack community. Right. So this is something interesting happening. Whenever something very important things are happening, I do share with our Slack community, marketcalls.slack.com. So I'm going to say like 3 consecutive immediate support zones. So that's what I'm going to talk about over here. Go on update. So you just press Alt S. That should be saving the charts. Should be saving the desktop. So the context here is what? 3 consecutive immediate dominant buyers. Dominant buyers, or we can call it as an positional support zone. Positional support zone. So that is what I'm seeing from the uh, market profile charts. So the positional support has been kept improved on a day-to-day basis. So that is improving more and more long odds as well. And we are seeing one of the quiet open for the day in the order flow. That is something dangerous, as I said, means we're not going to see this kind of yesterday's structure. So we're not going to see this uh, kind of this bell curve shape structure. We're not going to see this. We're going to see some sort of an elongated structure, most likely, or maybe elongated structure, most likely balance around the center and more elongated structure. Something like that is what we're going to see through the price actions. Because majority of the time, a quiet openings end up with blasting close, right? So that is what I'm able to see from the order flow. So 7,380 is like kind of a very quiet open for me. And Bank Nifty also having a super quiet open. If we could see that Bank Nifty volumes will be obviously lesser than Nifty volumes. So 3889 is the volume that we are seeing over here. One of the ultimate quiet open over here. So Bank Nifty and Nifty, we have to watch this kind of information very closely. So one of them might be having an aggressive close. And yeah, so Bank Nifty also doing something called PPOC rejection. Maybe if the price is able to take up this high over here, which is nothing but the yesterday's high. So yesterday's high and yesterday's low is going to be the significant reference, and including the yesterday's prominent point of control. What we are seeing here is like kind of an early morning PPOC rejection. So even there is a 40% chance that it could end up in a blasting close also. That chances are there with Bank Nifty as well. So far it is a clean drive in the markets. So buyers are showing confidence as of now. And we are seeing a PPOC rejection. Exact PPOC rejection is what we are seeing over here. It's kind of an early morning PPOC rejection. The context here with Bank Nifty is, if in case Bank Nifty is able to cross yesterday's high, then the odds of this poor low acting like an immediate support zone is going to be on the higher side, right? So that is something which we have to monitor very closely. Positionally, it could become like an upgraded kind of a support zones over here. And another important thing that I would like to talk about here is like that we're having a G2 low as well. So G2 low is what we are having over here. That is gonna be an additional support zone for the next two trading sessions. So today and tomorrow, this G2 low is gonna be acting like a very important positional support zones. Right? That is something again we have to uh, focus on this kind of information as well. Right. So let me summarize what are the contexts that we are watching. So we are watching yesterday's high to understand the confidence. So far, price is able to drive up, buyers showed up. So right now, buyers are the one who is showing the confidence. Yesterday's prominent point of control is not touched, and that is going to be very, very important. This is going to be a strong, important zone. If this prominent point of control is not cleared by end of the day, there is a high chance that we may even see this as a support zone for even like next couple of days, maybe like next 8 days or 10 days. This could be acting like a very, very important support next 8 to 10 days. Means it could attract a lot of put selling. Put buying could be dangerous in these kind of locations, provided if this information, what we are watching over here, is going to act like a very, very crucial reference. If it is not getting tested, it becomes like a kind of a virgin point of control. That means if that prominent point of control is not challenged, if that prominent point of control is not touched today, higher chances like we are going to see some positional faster move from the current levels. Right? That is something we have to understand. So we are watching the confidence. I'm seeing a high confidence buying at the open. That has been there. That is the context. So context wise, Nifty also having high confidence, Bank Nifty also having a high confidence markets, high confidence. And then we also talked about an high confidence buying, right? So buyers, that means buyers are serious so far. Yesterday, buyers showed up, not serious. Sellers show down in Nifty, they are also not serious. So price manages to trade at the center point. But today it's something different. So high confidence buyers is what I'm seeing here. Auction has been driving the price higher. And now there is also another reference I would like to watch here, which is the gap as a reference. So the gap as a reference also got a clearance. So this gap reference goes away. Price is comfortably able to cross that. So the gap as a reference, there was a gap, that gap has been able to comfortably able to cross. There are many times if the gap is getting rejected, maybe we may able to get some selling opportunity, but today price is able to trade through the gap perfectly. So gap reference. So far a clean price action. Bank Nifty, again, we have to watch very closely. The more it is going to cross this yesterday's high comfortably, it is gonna make a quick price action around that level. That's in that case the poor low, the chances of poor low, yesterday's poor low, which is nothing but a lack of tails here. So there's yesterday, if you would have seen that there has been a lack of tails, right? Yesterday we also talked about yesterday we had talked about a single print zones, right? So the C period we had a lot of single print zone. B period had a lot of I mean B period technically had a lot of single print zone. One of the reference level we watched out from an intraday perspective is like around 50,620 levels. We also seen one of the another reference as kind of an visual information to the rally high. That rally high has been cleared today. So if you would have seen yesterday, we talked about a rally high. one of the crucial reference levels. So price was getting visual. So even though yesterday it failed to clear, today it got a clearance. So that is something which the market does most of the time. 70% of the time, the market does that. So you would have seen that even yesterday morning, price was correcting. We had a positive bias, probably in the after that ABC period. Around that time itself, we had some positive bias. We thought like price could rotate, or even price could be getting and clearing the single print zones. Price even best case they can even go to the B period high as well. So those chances are increasing. That was one of the comment that we had yesterday. So far auction is clearly higher, and there is a chance. There is a 40% chance like price could elongate till end of the day. The chances are there because we are having a peacock rejection. So that means it get into the odds of 40% chance. Percentage is very small, but if you are seeing that price is going to be mostly one time framing, auctions keep on maintaining higher first half, second half. Anytime auction is shifting higher, the high confidence is maintaining like a high confidence. So those are signatures that you should not fight against that trend. Very clearly, you should not fight against the trend. So 40% chance of trend uh, till end of the day. End of the day. That odds are there with respect to Bank Nifty. Auction still remains on the higher side. Initial auction direction is also up. So we are also seeing an initial auction direction as well. So initial auction direction is up. Initial auction direction is not related to trading. It is trying to understand where the point of control is trying to form. Initial auction direction is going to be up. It's an indication that probably today's price action, maybe I think I could be expecting somewhere in this band. This is the band I'll be mostly expecting because the auction direction is up. So chances of value area building higher is also one another possibility. If you would have seen the yesterday's value area, we have yesterday's value area in this band. So compared to that, since auction direction is maintaining up, there is a high probability chance that value area also likely to shift up. That means more price action we can estimate at a higher levels. So more price action in this band, so more trading activity. So the chances are kind of increasing over here. That is what we can understand when the initial auction direction is up. So we can estimate where the today's point of control can form, where the today's value area can form with a slightly higher odds. Talking about Nifty order flow, you can see that Nifty is taking a drive with reasonable volume activity. Kind of an initiative drive is what we are seeing here. That is something very important. You see that the starting was like kind of reasonable ultra thin volume activity. So kind of an this kind of days probably in a month you might be getting like 2 or 3 times where the day starts with thin volume and then it start blasting later on. Right, and the context here is like the context here is like very simple. You're not gonna see a sideways markets when the market is gonna open this quiet and volume started picking up. It is not gonna be a regular market. Sometimes even long-term players might be keep pushing the price action. So what you also have to watch here is like sector level activity. So probably we will be watching the sector level activity over here. That is something that we always have to watch out. So let's say something like I'll go to NSE India and we'll look into the sector level activity. So we are looking into all sectoral indices. So if you could see the sectoral indices, except India VIX, everything should be up. And that should be the pattern throughout the day. So if you're going to see such kind of price action, you should be very much vigilant that, except sometimes like media or FMCG or pharma, those kind of defensives might go down. But majority of the sectors will be on the positive side, right? So majority of sectors, so far it is on the positive side. That is something very important. And this pattern, maybe if you're watching around 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, So this pattern remains the same throughout the day. That's early signature that we are competing with long-term traders. Usually long-term traders, they don't show up on a daily basis, but they are, when they are showing up, sometimes they may leave some small signatures, right? So the volume flow will be steady in the order flow. So far, volume had some deep price action here at 940 and 945. So what we need to see here is like price is also one time framing. That's kind of something crazy, continuous buying price action. So that indicates that some sort of an initiative drive is what it is happening. Initiative drive is kind of an price action, uh, which the institution moves the markets. So that is what it's happening. Every time the price action is inching up, you want to see more and more higher volume activity. Volume flow is gonna be bigger. More the volume flow that you're gonna see, higher the chances that we've been competing with long-term players. So all the sectors has been up. There may be, we might be able to see some sort of a leadership also. Maybe something like if I go to NSE indices, so I might be having this Nifty indices, right? So if I go to Nifty indices and let's say I'll try to pull up something like index movers. So we get to see, is there any leadership coming in? So far, not much of a leadership, like heavyweights like Reliance, TCS, and HDFC. Reliance was like up by 0.62 and TCS like 1.34. HDFC 0.44, Infi, ICICI. Some top counters is what it is moving, but not great leadership as such. There is not much of a losing strength also. So not much of a panic in any of those counters. Right. So this is something also pretty important to track the price action as well. Right. So what we are seeing here is like maybe there could be some leadership coming in. So anybody, one among them like Axis Bank or ICICI, Infi, HDFC Bank, TCS or Reliance, one among them, if they are taking leadership, that could be another signature that long-term money is coming and flowing. When the long-term money is coming and flowing, it will be flowing across the counters. So that is again, we have to watch out in today's price action. Bank Nifty. So talking about Bank Nifty, yes, they've been inching up higher. Initial auction is still up. And the context here is we should be looking for, still we have to look for this level. This level goes away because it's no more valid. It's a rally high, which was visual yesterday. It got a clearance. That is what market does majority of the time. Even though I was expecting yesterday, if at all yesterday, if it fails, the next day opening itself, we can anticipate. But the interesting context here is like this poor low, is it gonna become like a additional support zone or not? Yesterday, we talked about one more important context that this could be acting like a kind of an immediate support zone. And that is what it is happening so far. This becomes immediate support zone. Yesterday, we talked about that if at all around 3 o'clock or 3:15, if you are seeing that this level is not challenged, this level is not tested, then it becomes like an immediate positional support zones. At times, it could be even a very powerful support zone also. So, but today we can expect if uh, this high, the yesterday's high, if it would have been tested, then we can consider upgrading this as an updated trailing stop loss kind of positional support zones. So that kind of things we can use from this reference. So initial auction direction in Nifty is also high. Bank Nifty is also higher. And we are able to spot some clean initiative drives in Nifty. Consecutively, you can see that continuously delta is keep going positive. The volumes remains elevated. Delta couple of places, it's been higher, right? Big volumes are getting traded on couple of places. So that's a classical signature that we are dealing with buyers so far. It could be a long-term buyers also. But there is one problem here is like the single print zones. So a lot of single print zones is what we are seeing. That is small threat. Anyways, so that B period single print zones. That's a mini threat, I would say that. Not a bigger one, but it's a mini threat. So since the price action is moving up, so what I'll reiterate what we need to focus here. The today's prominent point of control, if it is not getting tested, right? So I don't know whether it will be getting tested or not. If it is not getting tested, then it could become like a very important reference for the next couple of days, right? So probably I'll be watching this around 312 or 310, 315 kind of time. If this is not getting challenged, then it could become like a very important reference for the next couple of days. So what kind of context right now it's happening? So far, confidence of the buyers is still higher, right? So nothing much changed yet. So when the confidence could change, I'll tell you. So if at all the confidence, the high confidence activity could change, if let's say price is breaking down at C period and then D period started getting back down and E period also started getting back down, in that case, the context might be changing on the reversal side. But if you are seeing that more and more price action, which is going to trade more the time, you're going to seeing that price action is going to remain elevated above the yesterday's high, right? Above the gap reference. More it's going to trade above the gap reference and yesterday's high. Uh, the high confidence buyers are going to maintain like a high confidence buyers. That indicates that we are dealing with serious traders, serious buyers, right? So serious buyers is what we are dealing with that. And so far it is high confidence buyers. 11 o'clock, you're seeing that we are still seeing a high confidence buyers. 12 o'clock, you're seeing that high confidence buyers. That's a great indication that you should not fight against those guys. Either you go along with them, or better don't try to fight these long-term players, right? So far there are some small indications that today's price action, we might be dealing with long-term buyers with a high probability, right? So that is one another important context. Because the order flow is greatly indicating that. See that the consecutive delta is keep happening still. Usually long-term players will not compete on a day-to-day basis, but when they are coming and competing, they will flooding their money across the counters. Most of the time, they are very shy people. They will be either accumulating or distributing, slowly moving the markets, but they won't aggressively move the markets unless they require some sort of a strong price action. When they're coming on flooding, it will be like a strong price action is what we'll be seeing here. So Kamala Kannan is asking, so it will reject at dual momentum zones. I don't think that dual momentum zone, whatever it happened in the past, it's going to be a temporary price action. I don't see that as a major top. It's a temporary top. That is how in our community also we talked about that. Maybe if you are already following, already part of the community, you know that the dual momentum zone, there was a top happened over here some time back. Now this top, we already classified this as an temporary top setup. So this is a temporary top setup. I think more or less we could be seeing an all-time high, not necessarily this week itself, maybe next month. I think we might be seeing, at least by next month, we might be seeing another all-time high. So what are the top which happened on 2nd and 1st of August? It is nothing but a simple temporary top setup, right? So I don't treat this as a major top, right? Because a lot of confirmation says that this is not a major top, at least not yet. So we have to learn to ride that trend. That is what we should do. Positionally, it is an opportunity to trade the long side. And this is one such day. We should not miss it out. So more aggressive, the price action is keep going higher the chances that in Nifty also value area is likely to build higher. So here is what we have an yesterday's value area. So comparatively, today's value area, we could be able to see like already it started building higher, but more the elongation it's going to happen and more the price action is likely to be on the higher side. That is something which simply we cannot ignore it, right? So still high confidence buyers and the confidence has been maintained still. At least yesterday, the A period low has been broken down quickly and then B period low got broken down quickly. That quickly changes the confidence. But today, if you would have seen that, still I'm not yet to see the change yet. Yeah, so another interesting thing happened over here that yesterday's high has been got tested. That means still we are having this 40% chance of trend till the end of the day. So the end of the day till the trend could be keep going higher and higher and higher. The chances are there. Even the odds are like 40%, but still that chances are there, right? And that chances are like increasing. Now I can say like this chances might be going like something like there is a 55% chance. I'll be increasing my uh, probability as well because the market is still going in line with that. And initial auction direction is up. So that is a clear indication that value area could be building higher. Point of control could be building higher comparative to yesterday. So PPOC rejection is there. That's an early morning long setup again. And that is also increases the chance of immediate support zone. Still, it's early, too early to confirm, but only thing is like now the chances of this poor low becoming like a positional support zone is increasing a lot. It's going to be an high high probability immediate support zone, immediate positional support zone, immediate positional support zone. Right, so that is something we have to watch this. I'm still not confirming it. By end of the day, I'll be able to confirm it because we'll be watching this information. Certain things we'll be watching, certain references we'll be watching live market itself. Live market itself will be able to confirm certain references. We need to confirm it by end of the day. That's why morning we thought like I said like we should be watching this reference, but the more the price is able to travel to the other side, higher the chances that this low will become like a important positional support zone. End of the day, if this level, the poor low is not getting cleared, which is very difficult from the intraday perspective. So from that angle, we can say like as of now, I can say like a high probability that this could gonna become like a additional important support zones. So earlier we have this reference level as an support zone, immediate support zone. Now we have to upgrade this reference as an additional support zones over here, right? And by end of the day, I'll be strongly confirming that whether it's going to be an immediate support zone or not. So far, it looks like it is an immediate support zone, right? By end of the day, we're going to able to confirm it even much further. The auction still remains up. Volume wise, volume flow, you can see that consecutive positive delta. Continuously, the delta has been active and look at the delta here, another big positive delta. Bigger volumes has been getting traded over here. So the flow is still steady, even though we are seeing like a lot of B period single prints and a lot of A period single prints. Its general market is kind of risky, but only certain exception days are there. Like if long-term players are competing, then such kind of single print zones might stay sometimes. Very rarely. That's a very rare scenario. But since long-term players are there, there could be a possible exception that such kind of single print zones in a regular market it's seen as a risk, but it is not the same case if you are dealing with a long-term players, right? So far long-term activity. So what is the next possible reference? We have a spike zone here sometime back. That spike zone also closed comfortably. The price is able to. So we have an spike zone which was supposed to be a resistance, not a major resistance though, supposed to cross, but at least some resistance it should offer. But so far, I'm not seeing any resistance around this level, the previous spike base. You can see that price is exactly coming and touching the spike base here, exactly in the sense, very exactly, right? So we may have to check, is there any resistance is going to get offered or not? But when long-term players are there, these kind of short-term references doesn't matter. But what I'm seeing is like this as an kind of an uh, kind of a visual reference level. So usually when this kind of references are getting challenged, maybe some quick pullbacks we can expect, but usually that could be taken down, right? So that's kind of an scalpers you usually come and trade around those levels visually. So the spike base, yes, it is going to be another important reference. So you can see exactly this is where the spike has been started. It's a clean spike day on the downside. So you can see that price is coming and touching the spike base and then it's rejecting. A fast downside opportunity, you may able to get that, but you have to be very careful because price is likely to be rejecting from those levels. That rejection is not a strong rejection. Chances are higher that once this move has been, quick downside move has been done, again, it will be challenged one more time on the upper side. It's not surprising that whenever price goes to a visual destination, getting rejected exactly, and it is getting challenged. That happened most of the times, right? So usually scalpers are the one who try to push it down, but they are just scalpers. So they try to make profit and then they'll move on. They move on to the next trade. How about Bank Nifty? Bank Nifty has been a little slow and steady. So yesterday also we talked about that. The positionally Nifty is still looking stronger. Bank Nifty, though support zones are there, still no aggressive closing. That Nifty had an aggressive closing last Friday. Um, but still Bank Nifty is yet to see some sort of an aggressive closing. Even though it's keep on building support zone, it's still quite slow in terms of price action. Nifty is still aggressive. Because other than Bank Nifty, IT counters are also providing some sort of a decent support zones. I mean, decent price action. So time is like around 10 plus. Still, we are seeing this high confidence buyers. 10, 11, 12 more, you're going to see high confidence buyers. Higher the chances that you should be trading on the long side. Mostly, you try to align on the long side and look for, if at all you want to trade the downside, or you should be looking for a change in confidence. See, along with us, Mr. Vinod from Bell TPO also joined in today's session. So he has something to say, maybe. Yes, Vinod.
Morning, Rajendran, and morning to all the traders who are in this community. So, as I just wanted to keep a small note, about yesterday's discussion, as you rightly mentioned that you were more biased towards a choppy market, and it was a very good opportunity as far as scalpers was concerned, and you were very pretty clear, that the market is going to be a choppy market, and it is going to be more of a sideways direction, right? uh, that kind of analysis, some people had messaged me, Rajendran, yesterday, asking that, how come sir Rajendran sir is able to predict this sideways direction, and somehow I was not able to understand. And he had also suggested to go through his blog post. So, um, that was the right approach, I would rather say. Now, I strongly believe that, Rajendran, because you were able to get this kind of command, whether to or predict whether the market will be on a sideways or in a directional movement, right?
Today we are talking about a directional price action.
I'm sorry.
Today we are talking about a directional
Yes,
price
I know.
action.
Today we are talking about a directional price action. Of course, if you can open the VC zone.
So I don't see a VC zone here because we are seeing a quiet markets. The quiet markets very often have a blasting move. That is what we
Okay.
are
Okay.
talking.
I'll tell you because as per my settings, I'm usually going with the
I
default
understand you used 450 levels still.
450 levels, and that's what I get. Even 750 also, if you put, I think you should. 450 is what I usually prefer to work with.
Do we have a cluster here today? I
I
think almost we are having a cluster. I think yes.
Yes,
Or I missed this.
we have a cluster, but
Yes,
some
yes,
not
yeah.
marked. And based on that, my team has executed a trade. That's what I heard, before joining the session. I was not
Correct.
so joined little late, Rajendran.
Like almost it is a cluster. Like probably like almost there is one level which is getting slightly above 7. Maybe if I keep this
True,
like
true,
750,
true,
this is
true.
like almost a cluster.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we can consider that as a cluster as well, but it's still it's a quiet volume activity. So like that
yeah,
is
yeah,
being like kind of volume cluster and a
yeah.
big delta move, and that could be bringing like generally 50 to 75 points of opportunity.
Yeah, so 9:35, if you see, you have a clear-cut breakout of the VC zone. And 7:29, majority of the time, you discuss that it's
But
almost
this is
28%.
I'll see this as an almost like a volume cluster. It's like I mean probably like another 20 lots. Maybe it could become like a volume cluster, but it's
Yeah,
slightly above 750. But
yeah.
these bars are like kind of pretty okay to me here. But yes, you can treat it like a volume cluster. It's kind of an almost volume cluster. That's how we can say here.
So, based on this, if one would have created a position, this is what we've been discussing even in the conversation, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that easily they would have made about 50 points, and now we are we're targeting 100 points, right?
See, another observation, what we had is like the 7,340 lots, which we
Yeah,
consider that as a kind of a quiet open. So whenever the quiet open is there and volume started rising rapidly, that's an indication that long-term players are coming and dealing in the markets. So usually it results in an blasting move kind of stuff in the markets. So usually it's kind of a starting point of the initiative drive. The morning clues are like pretty important. And if you look into the Bank Nifty as well, you could have seen that similar quiet markets in Bank Nifty as well, 3,889. Usually not gonna get to see this kind of things in a quiet markets. So quiet markets and volume started rising, big delta started rising. So those are early indications that we're gonna see not a sideways market, but mostly an elongated structures. So means a very good day for intraday traders.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yesterday is kind of a limited opportunity markets, but today it is not the same thing. And that is what the other context is also seeing here. And talking about Bank Nifty, we are having this odds like we are talking about this high probability immediate positional support zone. Two things that we are talking about that. And there is a 55% chance of a trend till end of the day. So that is a kind of context that we are able to get from the early morning clues that we've been talking about that. Initially, we had like 40%. Now we increase the probability to 55%. So as the time progress, we may even shift the context as well. So far, I'm not shifting much, but as the time is progressing, probably around 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, we'll again take a re-rating and then we'll check whether this 55% still it holds or whether I have to increase it to 60 or 70. So that context, I'll be taking a decision every 1 hour once, right? So as of now, yes, there is a 55. Morning, it was like only 40% chance. Now we are getting like 55% chance. And we are also looking through the leadership as well. So there has been some leadership coming from Reliance and TCS, right? And Infi as well. So it's good to go and see what is happening, what kind of confidence is there. Are we able to get any clues from Reliance? Not much clues from Reliance. Is there any clues from TCS? Let's see. So TCS is having a strong drive. So TCS, we should be watching it out. So there is a high chance like TCS has had, you can see that it's taking kind of a dominant buying activity around these levels. So TCS is one thing that we should be watching very closely. It's kind of a clean drive, a gap up, and then a drive, high confidence, maintaining like a high confidence. So we should be watching TCS very closely. There some leadership is coming in. Infi, even Infi is also having the same context over here. You can see that price is rallying exactly from the highs. That's something pretty interesting reference. And usually this kind of confidence is like kind of high confidence markets. Even Infi is having a 40% odds of price rallying till end of the day. So that kind of context we can see from Infi. Context is same. So whatever the thing we practice with Nifty and Bank Nifty, we can practice the same context with the stocks as well. So still auction still remains higher. So one thing that we also estimated around 945 or 950, that we expected that valley area could be building higher. So we are expecting more and more price action in this band compared to yesterday's valley area, which is like kind of building lower. Same context is what that helps us not to take aggressive positional shots, unnecessarily looking into other indicators and trying to go mad about it, right? So this will help us to avoid unnecessary trades. So trying to take an positional shorting trades are still difficult, right, going forward, because more and more increased level of supports, the trailing supports are keep coming in, and that is pretty much essential to track the market situation. That something crazy downside is not happening yet. If at all there should be some downside, we may get some early indications. But as of now, I'm not seeing any such kind of indications yet for a strong, big positional downside move. So unless some sort of an event-based downside is happening, only in that case it can go down. Otherwise, I don't see any. Maybe there may be some small intraday corrections, but I don't see any big positional corrections as of now. That was my stand yesterday also. Today also, I'm having the similar stand in Nifty. So volume-wise, so if you could see the volume flow, still this consecutive delta is not stopping at all. This is where the commitment has been coming in. You see that only, I think only now the still the bar is not done yet, but still there has been a consecutive commitments of trading activity keep flowing in, right? So that is another important thing that says like this is an aggressive, strong price action done by few institutions. Maybe one or two institutions might be making this kind of moves. And the price one time framing pattern, you can see that it's been keep going stable. There has been outside bar, but still we can see like still it's keep making like consecutive higher lows is what the price action is clearly in making. So usually we don't get to see this very frequently, but once in a while you're gonna see this continuous block of big consecutive delta. Like this is for like almost 45 minutes of consecutive positive delta activity is what it's been happening over here. That's an aggressive price action from the institution itself. Right. So other than an institution, nobody can make such kind of moves. A small trader cannot move the market, something like this. So some aggressive institutional play has been witnessed. Sector level activity. We've been also talking about sector level price action as well, right? So when long-term players are coming in, we also talked about this sector level price action as well. So 945, we seen that sector level activity was there. Now also we are seeing that except India VIX, maybe some defensives. Other than that, almost every other counter has been still positive. Yeah, media and metal has been down. Metal has been a little bit down. Media, it's okay. It's a very small sector. Sometimes pharma, sometimes FMCG. But majority of the counters are up. And particularly IT is the one which has been dominating. IT and financial services are the counters which is taking the lead. PSU banks, yes, some price action, mostly banking and IT is what most likely the major move for the day. And TCS and Infi, we have to watch it very closely because clean drives has been witnessed. We don't get to see an open drive every now and then, right? So very rarely we want to see that. Maybe 35% of the time or 40% of the time. Not every drive up or a drive down is going to be a serious drive. Sometimes it looks like an open drive. Second half, it may not look like that, right? So, but there are certain situations where you see the open drive and that is maintaining like an open drive, and that has more increased odds of riding the trend till the end. And there are a lot of B period single prints. So it doesn't matter, even if there's going to be a correction also, it's going to be some intraday corrections only. But there is a small chance that these single prints may not be a threat at times, particularly when long-term players are coming and competing. So these kind of places, if you want to trade the trend, definitely you need to know some sort of structural stop loss methods. Because generally in a regular markets, we see the single prints as a big threat. Right? These kind of intraday single print zones, we see this as a big threats. Is there any reversal signals? For all any reversal signal, we can trade to the VWAP levels. Kind of genuine seller and then price is breaking down. Maybe some small scalping downside move, one can go and play with that. Kind of an intraday shorting opportunity, some mini shorting opportunity, probably towards the VWAP levels. Maybe something towards this.
The VC zone, Rajendran, a small
Yeah.
note again.
Yes.
We could have easily made about 100 points when it comes to Nifty.
Typically, we go for like 50 to 75 points. So with the
Yeah,
given market situation, yes, 75 points could be a reasonable one.
yeah.
Maybe extended volatility, yes, we can go like 100 points also.
I think it has achieved 100 points today.
Oh, okay.
Position what you have marked. So now it is a time for the exit for a quick, because there is
Yeah,
a
almost there has been like some genuine seller has been
general
putting
sellers
out.
activity, right?
Yes.
So why to take a chance in it? We can always take an exit, but those people who want to risk,
So this place over here, it comes to an end. Like so, this place over here, when the price is crossing the previous bar low, that brings that any longs, maybe some quick exit. Maybe if you're intraday player, positional player, you don't need to bother about it. Maybe if you're intraday player, yes, that's a good place to look for exit and look for a re-entry opportunity. Some setups, or maybe even a intraday short setups also. But intraday short setups are like pretty smaller short setups. Max to max, any downside we'll be expecting max to max what towards the VWAP. And this VWAP will be, it's not a stable one. At times, if the market goes sideways, this could be keep rising up very slowly, right? And maybe the opportunity might, if the market started going sideways, it might go down. So, but ultimately the stops will be like pretty, very tight stop loss over here. Right?
I see a lot of Converge participants. I have a question, guys. How many of you have attempted this trade today? Breakout trade. You can use a Q&A window. Ajay ji, I see Ashok C is also there. Did you attempt a trade? Ajay Panchal? Okay, Ashok C says, yes, I have attended and got 40 points. Very good. How about in Nifty? With the help of VC breakout?
All right, there has been a question from
Okay.
Mohit. Mohit says like previous day is around 130 plus point of movement. So in terms of percentage, definitely you can consider probably the first 1 hour, first 1.5 hours, there was some crazy price action. Rest of the day it went for a rotation. When I say sideways markets, I'm not talking about the overall day as a sideways market. Even 130 points is nothing but an like less than almost half a percentage price action movement, right? It's not even a 1% intraday price action. So that way, it is still a sideways price action. Yesterday was a very quiet day and very limited opportunities. That is how we can see yesterday's price action. But today is not the same context. Today we're gonna see some more and more elongated structures. So far, at least by now, we have like 142. So yesterday, like almost 130 points. But still, price, the context, why I'm saying like yesterday is a sideways market is like you can see the choppiness around the center point, like more choppiness. Though initial move was there, later on price broken that and then it started rotating around those levels. Right? From that angle, we see that as an choppy sideways market situation. A rotational market is how we see that. But today, I don't see such kind of rotations coming in because of the early clues that we got from the order flow. So that says like we are looking for some sort of an elongated structure, some sort of elongated structure. Maybe some rotations will be there, but not like massive rotations like yesterday. But some rotations here and there we can anticipate. Not some serious rotations like yesterday. Yesterday it was a crazy rotation. Almost it become like a prominent point of control. You can see that number of letters got traded is like almost 10 or more than 10 TPUs. So some corrections, not much, but still very slow corrections is what we are seeing here. So end of day, as I said, you have to watch this prominent point of control, right? So that is something by 3 o'clock. If you're watching this, your positional support will be updated, not to this positional update will be updated to this prominent point of control. Or maybe if at all any single print zones. We don't know whether the single print zones will hold or not. If any single prints are holding, right? Um, that means we may have to look for certain uh, another level of increased support zones, right? I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that's it for the day. Let's see how the structure is evolving. Tomorrow, what at the opening that we're gonna revise is like, are we getting an extended price action? Are we getting some sort of a blasting price action? Is there any price action happening till end of the day? Let it be Nifty or Bank Nifty, either of the place. Even though in Bank Nifty the chances are like kind of increased. Whether we'll see Nifty, I'm not very sure whether we might getting that kind of extended elongation or not. Chances are there, but still we need further continuation. Bank Nifty, the chances only increase from 40%, it increased to 55%. So we have to check Bank Nifty, and the context still remains like initial auction direction is still up. High confidence is there in Nifty and Bank Nifty. So nothing much to fight heavily. If any shots, it could be some minor shots only, right? So minor shots, giving some moves, get some, take some profit out of it, and try to align every long moves. Try to align on the, try to chase the trend. One of the day where we have to learn to chase the trend. So, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, guys, you all agree with me, the initial market direction prediction is very, very important. And Rajendran has been able to do a fantastic job. Yesterday also we have noticed, and today also we've been noticing it. And I also see a couple of messages, Ajay, Panchal, everybody, were posting. They've got about 40 points they were able to capture. So, there's also a couple of questions from some of, the well-TPO family members, like, sir, how we can also become like Rajendra? Now, how do we answer this question, Rajendran? Hmm.
I
I
mean,
want
only the thing is the
predict markets like Rajendran. Now, what is the solution you have? Tell me. What should we reply?
only thing is like learn to build a screen time. That's what I can say here. So somewhere we have to start building a screen time so that you're gonna see at some point in time what you see in today. It might be repeating maybe next month or subsequent month. Maybe it might be repeating another 2 months from here on. Same pattern, similar context. So similar challenges that what you've seen in the past. It could be repeating, but we don't know when. But the goal is to understand as early when the market started making the move, right?
Yeah.
So that is
And
something.
some people were asking about your trade edge session, the upcoming trade edge session, which I think probably next month you're starting, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah, we're starting around um, mid of the session. We thought like we'll start around 7 and 8, but 7 is
Okay.
an Ganesh Chaturthi.
Yeah.
So we thought like we'll shift it to 14 and 15. So we'll start with 14 and 15, and then it will be running for like continuously for 45 trading sessions. And weekdays and week ends put together 45 trading sessions.
Now, what new we can expect in trade edge this time?
One thing we always expect is always a new market situations, new challenges, but repeated price action principles. So price action, and we're not only focused on price action. So our analysis will be mostly price action combined with price distribution, right? So price distribution is something that we cannot ignore it. Even though many traders in the market, they trade only price action setups. So we use a combination of price action combined with price distribution principles, mostly using market profile and order flow. Order flow is nothing but a pure price action. Market profile, we use a combination of price action with price distribution.
Great.
Yeah.
So we can expect a price action approach at this time as far as your sessions are concerned. Am I right? And there
Yes.
will be more such live sessions in your trade edge, if I'm not wrong, right? Every
Yes.
day, most.
And one more thing, like Anup is asking about market profile settings. Say I use for Nifty, I'll be using 2 point TPO, and for Bank Nifty, I'll be using 5 point TPO. And this is a standard we've been practicing for quite some time now, and
It is
not much of a change.
automatically it is set, no? You
Yeah,
can click
automatically it
on
will be set
the
in Bell
settings.
TPO.
It's
Yeah.
already settings are there.
If I
No.
right click, I'll go to the indicators. The settings will be taken care automatically.
So the latest version that is 4.0, this 2022 version, you have this settings.
Yes,
But
so we
when
use
you
a
are
price
on,
range based TPO settings.
yeah,
I think I also made a YouTube video on that as well. So just
yeah,
search for Bell TPO settings, you might be able to get that. Both market profile and order flow settings. I made a video some time back.
automatically it will get set, Anu. If you don't have the latest version, get in touch with our team. They will help you with. Can you just quickly, open up a chart or any other symbol on the same Nifty?
So with symbol, let's say,
Yeah, just type and just show them, how fast they can get.
say something. I just duplicate the slide and then
Yeah,
I'll just shift like something like infi.
yeah.
That's for I. And that's it. It should be setting it automatically. Not much of an extra setting. So one time setting is required, and rest of the time it will be automatically able to pull the data. No other settings are required as such. Yeah. So automatically it comes up.
The first row you can see it shows as the bottom table. That is the TPO size. So automatically the settings have been taken care. So you don't have to manually
The top
introduce.
10, the 10 is the software setting. So the software setting multiplied by the tick size will give you the TPO values. 10 in the sense, so 10 multiplied by 0.05 is 50 paise. So every letter is a 50 paise here. Right? That is how it works.
That's really wonderful, Rajendran. I know your morning show is definitely helping most of the traders. It's a kind of a learning process for them. And we expect you to have more and more sessions. And definitely tomorrow, guys, don't miss out his morning session. I'm sure that it will give you some kind of a direction and also the confidence. Here, when you're attending Rajendran session, it is like his more than 2 decades of experience he is trying to share. Our job becomes easy, looking at the chart, and he's trying to explain and also trying to learn, and also giving confidence on our trades. As many people have mentioned, today they were able to quickly make about 40 points, 50 points, and our team has almost targeted about 100 points they've achieved. They just messaged. So I usually don't look into the trades, to be frank. But since I'm attending Rajendran's session, out of curiosity, I pinged my team. They said, 100 points we have taken from Nifty. So these kind of opportunities may not come every day. Again, I'm repeating it because Friday was a very big day for us where we could able to capture around 150 points or so on both the sides. And Of course, yesterday it was a choppy market, and even in choppy market, we could able to take about 50 points, and it was more of a scalping situation, and those people who are scalpers, they would have enjoyed yesterday's market. And today it was again a trending directional
I
market.
would say like still yesterday's market is kind of a pretty challenging markets, like
Yeah.
kind of one of the difficult markets for many people. But if you are watching market profile, uh, you will be able to find some small opportunities. Yes, still even yesterday's market for market profile traders also little difficult, but still the one which happened yesterday is not something crazy. Like it's something which repeats over a period of time. This is something not a crazy market situation. Like many people said that market has been crazy, market has been choppy, and that is the true nature of the market itself, right?
Sideways is quite common, because directional market very less, majority of the time it is
Yes.
sideways only, right? It's a choppy market scenarios only. But we enjoy trading in directional market, Rajendra, to be frank. Choppy market, we take a quick
Almost
profit.
directional markets, everybody loves that and everybody
Yes.
want to have it.
And see, the challenge here is you need to understand directional market, everybody loves that market, but how you have to be firm with your decision, right? Now, you could able to predict that this is going to be a directional market until unless there is a change in the view. One can definitely look for a long trades, right?
Yeah.
So in such scenarios, how many of us we are able to predict whether it is a choppy market or a directional market, like how you are predicting? You are giving more of a screen time, plus you also have added a lot of experience to the charts, right? And that makes, or that gives you that more confidence. And there are a lot of things that you are looking into market profile. If I'm giving you market profile and I'm asking you, you are giving me 10 points. Okay. But for a normal trader, for him to reach that level might take time. But yes, once if he is able to understand the concept, once he involves himself into the subject, definitely he should be able to predict the way you are doing, right? That's something really nice. And of course, more and more sessions, attending your sessions can give them more knowledge also, because the live market, you are trying to plot your observations, and I'm sure those people who are a part of your traders community, for them it is a cakewalk. And the fellows who are, traders especially, who are new to your sessions, definitely they might find it difficult to understand the terminologies. But
Yeah.
yes, over a period of time listening to you, or if they are planning to opt for the sessions, definitely they may learn. Or even as you mentioned, there are a lot of videos, okay, on your market profile, right? And even
Yes.
if they are watching those videos also, it may not be in a chronological order, but still some kind of information they'll be able to get it, right? Uh,
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, thank you very much, Rajendran. Definitely, I will attend tomorrow's session also. And
Sure.
I request all the traders, do not miss out tomorrow's session, morning session, right? And let's try to understand tomorrow's market scenarios. And also, I think
So tomorrow we're not only going to talk about only the market activity. We'll be talking about market generated information, why trader has to follow market generated information, what exactly it's all about. So we'll give some clarity over that.
yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you,
Sure.
Rajendran. Thanks
Thank you,
for
everyone.
having
Thank
me
you.
to talk. Thank you, bye.
See you tomorrow.